But anyway, Corey DeAngelis about a month and a half ago tweeted out this, and this is kind of what started me on this little rant. I'd been ranting about this for a while, but it finally motivated me to make the infographic that we're going to discuss. And basically, this was a tweet with Steven Crowder talking to Carrie Lake, and we'll read what it says. Carrie Lake says, every Arizona parent can decide if they want to move their kid to a different school, and the money follows. And when I get into office, we're going to try to get more money to each student. School choice is actually the fastest way to clean up the curriculum. Wrong. Incorrect. School choice will not clean up the curriculum. I know why people think it will. I know why Carrie Lake thinks it will. I know why Steven Crowder thinks it will. I know why Corey DeAngelis thinks it will. But it will not. And the reason that it will not is because we do not have enough unwoke teachers in the teacher staffing pool. They think it'll clean up the curriculum because they think if we just bring free market principles into the situation and create more competition and give parents the choice, then parents are going to be able to differentiate enough to know the woke schools from the unwoke schools, and inevitably the parents are going to want to enroll their kids in the unwoke schools because the woke schools are effing crazy, and the free markets is going to take care of everything, and then parents are going to be able to then teachers, once they see that parents are only going to enroll their kids in the unwoke schools, then teachers are going to have to clean up their act. That's not going to work like that. Because what Corey DeAngelis and all of the other people who are supporting this don't really understand, I don't think, is the fact that A, this is a religious belief for teachers. This is the far left progressive ideology is a religious belief to them. Do you just give up your religious beliefs because a parent is going to remove their child from your class and send them to another school? No. No. If you really believe and are committed to your religious beliefs, then a couple of parents taking their kids out of classes, which, by the way, doesn't impact your paycheck at all in any way, you're still going to get paid the same amount of money. Your pay is not going to be dictated based on how many students actually make it into your class. So why would teachers have any incentive at all to clean up the curriculum? They don't have any incentive to. But even if they did, there are not enough unwoke teachers to be able to fill the unwoke schools. It's a numbers game. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that's actually talking about it from this angle. And it's probably because I'm an organizational psychologist. And so I think about things in terms of like staffing and like human resources. This is a staffing problem. Let's just say, like, okay, so there's a teacher shortage right now, right? Let's just say that schools, and I'm going to make up, these numbers have no basis in reality. I'm going to use numbers that I think make it easiest to describe the situation. Okay. So say the state of New Hampshire right now has 100 open teaching positions that need to be filled. There's a teacher shortage. Teachers are quitting. We have 100 positions for teachers in New Hampshire that need to be filled. Of those 100 positions, you only get 10 applications from unwoke teachers. The rest of the applications that you get for those 100 positions come from teachers that are completely indoctrinated into the woke ideology. They just graduated from Teachers College at Columbia University, which literally trains socialists, or the Harvard Graduate School of Education, which also literally trains socialists. And 90% of the applications that you get are for teachers that are completely indoctrinated into the woke ideology. It is their religious belief. You got 100 open positions. You have 10 people who are anti-woke teachers that you can hire very easily. Say you hired 100% of the applications that you got for anti-woke teachers. Okay, you still have 90% of your teaching pool that you need to fill, and you don't have the unwoke teacher applicant pool in order to do it. It doesn't exist because the problem is not starting in the K through 12 schools. The problem is starting before the K through 12 schools. It's starting at the colleges of education and the state licensing boards. And so you've got a funnel. You've got a funnel in which all of the wannabe teachers go in the top of the funnel, and they go through the colleges of education. They get indoctrinated into the woke ideology. Then they have to get their teacher license, which requires them in many states, though not all, but many, to go through additional woke indoctrination in order to get their teaching license. And they have to go through this funnel before they ever hit the public schools. They're already gone before they get there. I want to thank Murphy's Pool for the super chat. I apologize I can't display it on the screen. Murphy's Pool says, if teachers were allowed to drink Peroni at lunch, school would be much better. I don't know if that Italian water beer is going to fix anything, Murphy's Pool, but thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. So let me show you. Let's walk through this infographic. Okay. So at the very top, this is what I just talked about. The two institutions, let me see if I can make this even a little bit bigger. That look bigger on your screen? Oh, it does look bigger. Yay. Okay. Here is why school choice will not fix the problem. Because at the top of the funnel, we have the boards of education and the colleges of education. There are two institutions that control how teachers are produced. These institutions, the colleges and the boards of education. And the reason I put the boards, so the colleges obviously train the teachers, but the boards of education are the ones that dictate the state licensure requirements. And so the boards of education are going to be able to dictate things like, you must do this anti-racist training in order to become a licensed teacher in, say, the state of Illinois. So they're dictating who can actually become teachers, because almost every school now is requiring not just a bachelor's degree, but a master's degree in order to be a teacher, which is messed up in and of itself. But these are the two institutions that are controlling how teachers are made before they ever hit the schools. In order to become a licensed teacher, the state boards of education require that teachers attend an accredited university. An accredited university means they get to dictate the curriculum. In order to be an accredited university, that means you have to comply with whatever the accrediting body tells you to comply with. Now, let me give you an example that's separate from the schools about where this becomes a problem. The American Medical Association, the association that is in charge of medicine, doctors. The American Medical Association is now mandating that as a part of medical education at accredited medical schools, that wannabe doctors in training have to undergo anti-racist coursework. They are also mandating that faculty who teach at medical school are required to speak anti-racist. That's coming from the American Medical Association. And because the American Medical Association says you have to train doctors to our standards in order for your students to ever get a job in any hospital ever, the colleges of medicine and the licensing boards have to comply with what the American Medical Association wants. This is how medicine is going to go woke. It's because of the accrediting bodies. The same is true with the American Psychological Association. The same is true with the American Psychiatric Association. These associations dictate how new psychologists and psychiatrists are trained in college. These organizations go woke. That's going to require that colleges and universities also go woke in order to accommodate what these standards are telling them to accommodate. Now, in truth, the colleges and universities already went woke, and that was how it infiltrated the professional organizations. But then it becomes a self-reinforcing prophecy, right? If the professional organization that is in charge of blessing these schools with accreditation, or you have to meet their licensure standards in order to practice in that particular field. If they say you do something, then you have to do it. Otherwise, there's no reason for any student to go to that program because they're going to graduate with a degree that will literally be useless to them. They're not going to be able to get licensed by their professional body. It's another reason why, by the way, we need to do away with professional licensure standards. They're bullshit. I'm sorry. They're absolute bullshit. They're only meant to allow the state to have control over all of this. That's another story. So, these are where the teachers are coming from. These are the people dictating the standards. Now, you have students that are coming out of high school, and again, like we have watched high school students. We might watch high school students tomorrow on my second channel for happy hour. We've watched high school students already showing up as social justice warriors because their teachers from the time they're young have trained them to be social justice warriors. But that is not the fault of the students, okay? It's not their fault. So you have this group of young kids, and we're talking about 18 years old. So that means the logic reason function of their brain is not developed, because the logic reason function of our brain does not develop until we are in our early to mid 20s. So before the logic function of their brain develops, they say, I love school. I want to be a teacher. Great. You go to a college of education to learn how to become a teacher. And they go in as relatively naive, though probably already partially indoctrinated, like education students. And in going through the College of Education, which, by the way, colleges of education are not only mandating that you do like separate anti racism coursework, like you're going to take a whole fucking class in anti racism. They're also going to integrate the woke ideology into every single education course that these students are required to take, and probably their non-education related, like their non-education specific courses as well. If they're taking a liberal arts curriculum at college, like forget about it. They're taking a sociology class, forget about it. It's everywhere in colleges. So you're having these young students who don't have the logic reason part of their brain go to these colleges, and they may be innocent enough when they go in, but by the time they graduate, they're activists. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. Okay? Now, those activists, they're your teaching pool. They're your teaching pool. And we know that well over 90% of educators are donating money to the Democratic Party, or at least at the bare minimum, supporting the Democratic Party. And so, for every one great teacher, who makes it through college and hasn't been indoctrinated into this ideology that they have been bombarded with every day of their college experience for 4 years and up to 6 or 7 years if they did their master's degree, they've been bombarded with this ideology every single day, and they made it out alive. You get one of those for every 9 that don't make it through without getting indoctrinated into this ideology. 90% of the teachers that are coming out of these schools are gone. It's their religion. This is not just a political philosophy. They don't even know it's a political. In fact, it's even worse than that. This is not even something that they are aware of, because remember, the kids that are coming out, and I will call them kids because I'm old. The kids that are coming out of these colleges of education now have been learning this stuff since elementary school. They don't know anything different. Don't know, and They have never been taught anything different. Really think about that for a second. If you only know one way of doing something your entire life, and it has been taught to you in elementary school, it's been taught to you in middle school, it's been taught to you in high school, and then you go to college and you learn it in college, you are not going to think that there is any other way. Those are the teachers that are coming into this teaching pool. Those angry activist girls with the pink hair, those are the ones that schools have to choose to hire from. And that teacher pool, that pool of people who meet the state licensure standards, those are the teachers that are going to be applying for the jobs at the public schools, the private schools, and the charter schools. And no, technically, private schools, I don't believe, have to meet, like, they don't have to hire teachers based on state licensure because they're private schools. But it doesn't really matter because that's where the credentialed teachers are going to come from. That's what's going to look best on the resume. The most private schools and most charter schools, for that matter, are not going to hire the guy off the street. They're going to hire the person with the master's degree because that's what the parents want. Because the parents think that college is about learning and growth and learning to think when it's not anymore. Maybe it was a long time ago. I don't even know anymore, but it's not anymore. So you have this pool in which 90% of the teachers are completely corrupted, bought into this ideology, probably will never be fixed, and you have 10% who are okay. And that is this teacher staffing pool that's going into every single school. And so, just because you can choose to go from one public school to another public school down the street, or a charter school 3 towns away, or that private school that you were really hoping you'd be able to have enough money to go to, just because you can change schools does not mean that you change the teacher staffing pool. Because schools are only hiring the teachers who they get job applications from. And if you're not getting job applications, you can't hire that. If you're not getting job applications from unwoke teachers, you can't hire them. This is just really practical. And so even if even if tomorrow we were able to get every single one of these indoctrinated activists out of public schools, and this is the part that really keeps me up at night, even if we are able to get rid of every single woke teacher in the world, we do not have a teaching pool that is large enough to fill those roles, because all of a sudden you get rid of, so there's 30 teachers in this image that I have, right? 27 of them out of the 30 are woke. 3 of them are not woke. 3 teachers cannot replace the workload of 27. It's not possible. So, school choice is not going to fix the problem. It's not going to fix the problem because this is a generational problem that has been created based on the fact that the woke left took over the colleges of education years ago, decades ago, and then slowly but surely filled all the professor positions in these colleges of education. And then those professors started turning out woke teacher after woke teacher after woke teacher. And as they started turning out woke teachers, eventually the woke teachers they were turning out became professors themselves. We have 2 generations of teachers that need to be replaced, minimally, minimally. 2 generations of teachers that need to be replaced before we even have any hope of solving this problem. And I think that it would be lucky. It would be lucky. So, school choice is nice. I'm not saying anything against school choice in terms of driving culture, in terms of getting people to look at it more critically, in terms of getting parents used to the idea of considering their options. But it will not fix the problem, and people need to start being honest about this. It will not fix the problem. And hoping and wishing upon a star does not change the current makeup of the teacher staffing pool. And by the way, even if you could choose, even if you were given that option, most parents don't know what's being taught in the classroom anyway because the schools hide it. If you don't know what's being taught in the classroom, not really, how on earth can you evaluate one teacher against the other to even know what's this is why cameras in classrooms is so important. This is why we must put cameras in classrooms. Because right now, parents have no access at all to really knowing what the teachers are teaching in their classes. They have no access at all.